Are we live? Looks like we are. Woo! Hey, everybody. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I'm still trying to figure out all this cool StreamYard stuff. I upgraded to the full version of it, and yes, I started like playing around because I was like, hey, I want to be able to do my logo thing right up there. Do y'all see this? I sliced my finger. So Everett, I'm like this. We're waiting for Kelly, so we'll wait till a couple of people come in. So I'm just hanging out talking right now. But Everett got a knife for his birthday, but the sheath it's just a really cheap sheath, and so he was like, Dad, he said, can you hang on to this for a little while? And I put it in my sock drawer, and then this Sunday I reached in there for a sock, and it sliced my finger open. So I'm gonna have this goofy Band-Aid on. How is everybody? How are y'all? Kelly's gonna be coming in a moment. We're getting the kids ready. I'll show you that. Whoa, Anthony, you got a lot of comments loading. That's weird. I've never seen that happen. So definitely let me know as you come in. Let me know where you're watching from, and let me know if you're interested in the whole homesteading, shed to house stuff. I want to be able to get to know you guys. So let me know like where you are and where you're watching from. I'm also currently trying to stream I'm able to stream to my Facebook page, but I have yet to figure out how to get it to stream to Shed to House, the Shed to House Facebook group. Hopefully that's working over there. If any of you guys are over in the Shed to House group, I'd love to know if it works. Okay, so we have Terry. How's it going, Terry? Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Broke parenting. Okay, sorry. I was like, is it Brooke? And it's just there's missing an O. Broke parenting. Broke parenting. I am very interested to know your channel name. Do you have a channel? Because I want to know if you have a channel, because that's a very good name. Broke parenting. I like it. That's cool. Anthony, all your things say is loading, so I'm not sure what's going on with that, Anthony. That's a little different. Spencer from Nashville. Hey, Spencer, thanks for hopping in. Yay, Autumn. Okay, Autumn, you're watching from Facebook. That is so cool. Autumn is one of our originals of like viewers over in the Shed House Facebook group. And so evidently this is working. So that's super cool. That's exciting to me that we can do that over there. Actually, I need to do that. Hold on, you guys. It's Shed to House. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Let me do this. Shed to House logo. Let me see if I can figure this out. I don't know if it's on this computer or not. Man, let's do hipster logo. I need Kelly in here to continue the conversation, because I need to be able to see. Man, I don't have it. I think I only have it in other formats, so I don't think I can put it. Maybe I can do this. It's not as good of one. Hold on, let me see. Hi, honey. Kelly's here. I'm trying to. So I need to see if I can get the Shed to House logo in, but it's not going to work tonight, guys. I'm mad that I didn't do that. But anyway, I'm still learning this stuff. So hi, Autumn. Good to see you here. Anthony, is that your... Okay, Anthony from Michigan. Woo-hoo. Terry's from Michigan. Look what Kelly brought. What is this? What in the world?
It's only a quart of water, but we were out of...
Wow, you got a half gallon of water with like some sort of electrolytes. Is it because you're pregnant? You didn't want to sit in that. I didn't even get you a chair.
I want the comfy chair.
Kelly got our grandparent chair.
It's like an old lady.
It is an old lady chair.
But I'm this pregnant, so I feel like it's okay.
You guys, Wednesday is going to be a video coming out. You're not going to believe what this woman did for our
like
homestead.
A boss. I did not have the baby yet.
Yeah, baby's still pregnant. So,
but it's very exciting.
Yes, it is. Okay, so Jan, hi Jan, Jan Banks. So, hey, you're from Eastern North Carolina. Okay, so that's the other side of Asheville, right?
I don't know.
Asheville.
I just know Asheville's in North Carolina.
I think Asheville is more West Carolina, North Carolina.
Y'all, I look very comfortable in this chair.
You look very sleepy in that chair. Do you want to sit in this one?
No.
Okay.
This is way more comfy.
I guess everybody can hear us because you are not saying that you can't hear us. Natalie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and we can see if you're watching. So, each time we're doing this, there's a little bit new experiment. So we can see now if you're watching from Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. So that's really great. Thank you for letting us know.
That would be cool if we could do Instagram, but it doesn't give you that option yet. That would be super neat. Okay, so Natalie says you're 65-year-old single lady in Southern California, want to go tiny shed to house in next couple of years with a small garden. Woohoo!
That's awesome.
That is super awesome.
I love everything about that. Just very specific vision and know exactly what you want to do, especially like down to the small garden. That's exciting. Mm-hmm. We just gardened today.
We did.
We got a lot of stuff in the ground.
I think it's in the thumbnail. Let me see if I can do. Can I do? No. Hold on. I'll have to figure that out. Let's see. Can I do this? Can I do an overlay? This is so fun. I like doing this stuff. So look, I'm going to show you all this. I think, that's a better photo. If I do that, and let's see what will happen. If this is going to upload. So while that's uploading.
A little bit like a magician.
It is. This is so cool.
What do I have in this hand?
Yes. So, okay, so look at this, guys. So, hey, it worked. Woohoo! This is so cool. I think this is the neatest thing. Okay, it's not a screen share, so I think I can do that, and I haven't figured that out. I haven't even looked at it. But so I can't point my mouse. But these two front beds, they're Vigo, and they're
kind of hot right now. I've seen a lot of people promoting the Vigo, and I will have to say, these were a pretty decent assembly. Like from start to finish, I think this is like ready-made beds. But they're deep. These aren't even the super deep ones. And we put peppers and tomatoes in there today and some perennial herbs. So this is like a whole new garden setup for us. We're still doing our garden from last year, but just, moving off of your idea on a small garden, our garden last year, we'd put in some perimeter beds so we could start kind of filling out this space that we had fenced off. In our immediate zone, we have children who like to pull up gardens. They're like, oh, we were just making a salad for our pretend picnic. That's devastating. We have dogs that run through them. We had chickens that dug them up, and now we have the cows. So having all of those animals, it was like necessary to put that fence in around our original garden. And now it's got a lot of fodder trees and strawberries that we're pulling up. Not pulling them up, but like strawberries that we're actually getting to eat right now. And the perennials. And I remember when I was building that garden last year, I asked friends, what would you like to have done differently in your garden? And one of them said, I would have loved to plant perennials sooner. So that's really what we focused on in our garden last year. And it's so great because now we're pulling stuff up when we were like, oh man, we would have just been planting things last year. So that was really fun to do that on the homestead. So those garden beds you just saw with the houses in the back, those are going to be long-term, more like perennial herb beds. But this year it'll have a lot of variety in it.
Can I have some of the milk?
Yeah.
This is so weird. We're
eating dinner together, guys.
Well, so here's the deal. Okay, so let's get everything taken care of because then we can start the full conversation. So I think a lot of people are coming. So as you're coming in, please give us a thumbs up because that helps. Let's see how many thumbs up we can get. We have 59 people watching. Let's see if we can get to 10 thumbs up and then 20.
And if you're here, let us know if this is the first time you've jumped in on the chat or if you were here last week, because we haven't done this live stream to YouTube and Facebook before. And we would just love to know where you're watching from, because that really helps us focus our attention moving forward.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna let that save. I let that close out. Perfect. Okay. So welcome you guys. This is We're Better Together Life, and we also have the Shed to House Facebook group, and we're.
Really pick up.
Oh my goodness. What
I need
is?
to drink a lot of fluids.
You look so
I just
short.
didn't expect it to show up
You
that
can't-
way.
I'm glad that you're comfy. So we usually do this live stream over in our Shed to House Facebook group. There's about like 80,000, maybe 90,000. I don't know how many's over there. There's a lot of people over there in the Shed to House Facebook group, and we're trying to switch things up to where now we can do both of them on YouTube and Shed to House. So our Shed to House Facebook group is brought to you by United Portable Buildings. United Portable Buildings is our sponsor over there. Let me do something cool here for a reason. I'm going to show you real quick. So, woohoo, it popped up like over there. Right there. And we were able to have the owner's the CEO owner's phone number in my phone, Casey Wiggins. And what we've known a lot of different shed to house manufacturers and dealers since we've been doing YouTube and the whole shed to house movement. And our house is not a United Portable Buildings, and there's some things that we unfortunately don't love about our main house. Then we were able to work with United Portable Buildings to get this shed to studio. This is a 14 by 24 building. We absolutely love it. Kelly was in here earlier today, and she says, I love this
space. We just created like a really good space here.
It's way more solid. The experience of building this was just better. It was just so better.
Yeah.
The build quality and the customer service of United Portable Buildings, better than anything.
It just makes a big difference.
It
like
really.
You feel like you can trust it even before you get it, and then once you have it, you realize you made a good choice.
So I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the chat for you guys that are interested. Okay, there it's popping up right now. So this is to where you can go and build the shed that you want. So it's a 3D shed builder. Go there, follow that link. It's super fun. It'll give you a price right away. So there's really nothing you lose.
It's kind of like playing Legos, but online, and you just build out your perfect little building. It can be huge, up to like a 2-story, or small like our studio, and it's just kind of like a fun game to play. But if you're really serious about looking into an alternative to like a stick build home, I haven't seen a better configurator than this one, because it's so user friendly. And then if you want someone to follow up with you, you get that option as well.
Absolutely. Okay, so follow the link, United Portable Buildings. Okay, let's go back to because there's already questions coming in.
Yeah,
so that's great.
Fun.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to try to work our way through the chat. So just please keep on letting us know. And then if you have a question, put it in all caps. I know that sounds silly that everybody says that, but it really does actually help.
Well, you can see it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Okay, Autumn says that she has been in her shed to house for almost 4 years now and homesteading on 15 acres. Autumn, I did not know that you've been living in a shed. I know that you had one. I didn't know that you've been living in there for 4 years. You're beating us. Are we at?
We'll be at 4 in
November.
Yeah. Because 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yes, November of 22 will be 4 years.
Kentucky Prepper from Central Kentucky. Hello. That's awesome. Okay, so let's scroll down and see how to guys.
Do you want me to take some questions so you can drink that milk?
Sure.
Okay,
Anthony.
All right, so Anthony asked, how many rooms are in that house? So I'm guessing you're talking about our house, but if you're not, just add a follow-up question down below. So our house has technically 1 bedroom. So if you walk in, and I think we've got a shed to house tour on our YouTube channel that you can see, but our bedroom is the only bedroom, I guess, with a true door. Like our kids were saying this just the other week. I think it's taken them 3 years to realize, oh, we don't have doors to our bedrooms, where they like even think about it. So there's our room on the first primary floor, and there are 2 bathrooms on the first primary floor, a living space and kitchen space. And then we created 2 separate stairways to go up into 2 separate lofts. One of them is much longer than the other, and it covers it's where our boys sleep. And then the other side is where the girls sleep. So I would consider 3 bedrooms, but if we were listing this house, I think it would probably say 1 bedroom with 2 sleeping lofts.
Yep. Let me do this. You also asked, is that Anthony? You asked how much is the price? There's a link right there. I'll even put it in the chat just so you can click on it. Really easy. Togetherlife.com/report. Okay, so that's our full list. So I can go over the price, but it's just so much easier for you to follow that link.
Because you see a breakdown.
Yeah.
So like, what was our septic? Remember, we built our property from raw land. So there were no buildings, no outbuildings, no little lean-tos or anything, no barns, no electric, no water. So all of this, like if you found us from YouTube, awesome. You go back and check out, there's everything from when we very first began sort of homesteading in place. We started buying raw milk and cooking whole chickens and just doing what we could do to live a more sustainable lifestyle in the suburbs. And then we had this opportunity to move on to the property after we found it. And we just built everything from scratch. So everyone's journey is going to be different. You might find a totally different property, but for us starting out, this was what made so much sense. And you'll see all of those little itemized costs in that shed to house report.
Yep. Okay, so Christian over on Facebook. That's so cool. I think this is the coolest thing ever. I love it. Okay, so Christian says, live on 6 acres, finishing up a 16 by 44.
Very cool.
Woohoo! That's awesome.
I know that feeling of
I know.
like when you say you're finishing up. I know what that means because you're not quite done with it yet, but you're getting closer. That's really exciting.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, so what do people in tiny? Yeah, Arifa maybe? Arifa?
Oh.
So what do people in tiny homes do for food storage? That is a really great question. Seasonal storage too. Do you want to?
You go for it.
Yeah. Well, the first thing we do is we can. So we began canning when we lived in the city, and it was actually, we jumped into the fire with pressure canning. So do any of you guys pressure can? Like we never water bath canned first. So we just jumped in with pressure canning because our refrigerator went and we had to take all this meat. Like we'd just been on a Costco run. So we took all this meat and we had to can it from, I think it was chicken wings and ground beef and one other thing, maybe like another chicken thing like drumettes. So we started there. I highly recommend this, especially because in the summers, you can use a camping stove or just a propane burner. And this is a great way to store food in the, like from your harvest. So if you're already gardening, awesome. If you're not gardening, I would also just recommend getting stuff from the local farmer's market or a CSA and practice that canning skill because you really can get great nutrition. You really can get great nutrition from the food that you eat when it's picked in season. A lot of the times, as you're just starting to peel back the layers in our food system, you'll notice that the food you can get, like why can we get strawberries all year round? How come I can get green beans all year round? And these are either imported or you're not getting them at the prime, like ripe nutrition. They're being picked early and then they're continuing to ripen on their way to you. So you're getting less nutrition. So canning is the thing I love best. However, in the last year, I will say a bougie version of food prep is our freeze dryer. And here's 2 reasons I like it, just to keep it simple. We've done a bunch of videos on this, so you can run back and check it out. Also, let me know if you've seen any of those videos, and feel free to share in the chat what you do for your food prep. But we will
keep food prep. Guys, can y'all, I'm seeing a couple of comments that we're coming through fuzzy.
Oh.
Let us know if you can still see us and hear us. I just don't, because this is a big cup. Yeah.
So I think there's probably 100 reasons I can give you why I love using food dryer or the freeze dryer. And but two of them are this. For a tiny house, for small house living, it's really hard to have a root cellar depending on where you live. Texas, we're not going to have a root cellar. It's not going to be effective. We can't just build a little cave here. It's too hot. So unless we're like digging holes in the ground and storing things in trash cans, it's just not going to happen. But with the freeze dryer, let's say we did a whole bunch of green beans. I can take those green beans, I can put them into the freeze dryer. They weigh next to nothing. So I really love that. And they take up no shelf space. So I can get a bushel of beans from my own garden. And if I'm canning them, I'm going to put them into quart-sized jars. And I may get 8 quarts of green beans from my garden. But if I take that same amount and I freeze dry it, I can store them flat in packs, and I can fill shelves with I don't really know because it's only been a year, but I don't know how much more I could store per square inch on my shelves, but I can store so much more because it takes up less room and it weighs a lot less. And I guess that there is 1/3 reason it reconstitutes so easily. So when people ask me, do I love to freeze stuff? Freezing is my least favorite option because it takes up so much room in the freezer and because I have to then thaw it and reheat it. Canning is my second favorite because I can take stuff from jars like bone broth and I can put it in, or I guess it's second to my favorite, bone broth, and I can put it into jars and it's ready to just warm up. I don't have to thaw it first. But then the last one, which is like my absolute favorite now that we have it, is the freeze dryer. We got a Harvest Right medium-sized food grade because they have a couple different grades. And I love this one because I can take that same bone broth and I can make it into a powder. And we've used it so many times. I've never run out of bone broth because I just didn't have room or time to can it, or I didn't have space on my counter to run the Instant Pot. So those are ways that we've worked a lot of people will do dehydrating as well. But I think if I have the choice between dehydrating and freeze drying, I'm going to go freeze dryer every single time.
Let us know down in the chat of how are you what do you do for storage, especially in small spaces. I love what Kelly said in terms of how to take, I guess that's the thing, is how do you, like, you can take this much amount of food and turn it into this much amount of food. So, and especially weight and everything. Besides that, one thing that I would say in terms of just pure storage, we're actually going to be doing a video here soon of a 1-year update on our bed frame. Y'all, I know that sounds super weird, but we have a box springless bed frame. So we have a king size bed in a sort of tiny house. Our room is able to fit our king size bed, and it's very cozy. And so we always had a box spring in there. And so I started doing research about a year ago of how do you have more storage in a small space. And I found that they make these bed frames that don't have a box spring. Really, this is like the dumbest thing now that anybody ever has a box spring. It makes no sense to me. I don't understand the point of it. The fact that everybody, and whenever we did this video and kind of highlighted it a little bit,
us included.
Yeah, we're like, and
we've always had a box spring.
And people are like, well, let me know how it works a year from now. And like,
well, that, and we got a new mattress. I think our mattress had been, I don't know, 11 years at that point. And we got a new mattress and then put it on top of this just bed frame. It's just a bed frame and it works so great.
But basically, you can't even show you because I don't have, it can fit a full storage bin, like any of those little totes. I guess that's what it's called, a tote, right?
Yeah.
storage bin tote.
Like a Rubbermaid.
You're going to eat on the
I'm
live
so
stream.
sorry, guys. I'm really pregnant.
No kidding. This is why I'm drinking milk. This is so silly. So the reason
this
why
is how I brought dinner. I just packed it into a.
Hey, it smells
basket.
delicious though. Kelly's pregnant, and
Sorry.
I have not eaten anything. We were going to do this live stream next week, but then we realized next weekend the kids are going to be out of town, and then I have to pick them up on Monday, so it's a little weird.
And
But
every
anyway.
day we're a little bit closer to having a baby.
I know. So we're like, we got to get the live stream. Okay. So anyway, the bed frame. I don't care what you live in. I don't care if you live in a 3,000 square foot home. It just, unless you want like a water bed or a Murphy bed, it makes no sense.
My parents totally had a water bed.
Yeah.
Like 2 of them.
It makes no sense to have something without storage underneath the bed. I don't know. Maybe you don't want that. Maybe I don't know. But especially if you're homesteading, you're always going to need extra space. Like it's so good. I love this.
So
box.
like if we didn't have a ton of, like actually we have a lot of room under there right now. We could just pack things up in those totes. I think food storage is really mostly about organization. And I really dislike the idea of 72-hour food MREs. I really dislike.
They're expensive.
Well, they are because somebody else freeze dried them for you. That would be a good little side gig. So use our link and get the freeze dryer, and then go make some MREs, some meals ready to eat. If you were an Army brat, you totally get my vibe. My dad would bring home like the candies, like the off-brand lifesavers that were in them, or gum or something, or like packs of hot cocoa. But you could make a business off of that. People do. But you could just store and organize things that you like. One person I follow on Instagram, 3 Rivers Homestead, she does a lot of freeze drying. It might actually be venison for dinner. A lot of like freeze drying their leftovers. And I just love it. Like I love that I don't ruin bananas. I love that as our bananas start to like, you buy one little bunch of bananas and your kids eat them in a day and you're like, we must have bananas. And so you buy 2 and no one will eat them. But if you're freeze drying them, they're fantastic. It's like my favorite snack. I love how good it is. I will never get over freeze dried bananas. And
this is totally the freeze drying live stream.
It is unintentional. But what I can do is save them and put them aside. Or in our kitchen, we have a lot of the things that we'll use over and over again. So I have carrots and zucchini that are freeze dried, and I can just throw those into a soup really easily. And then I have a meal. So I love that it removes a lot of the waste. I don't think there's much waste on the homestead anymore because we just throw it to the animals. However, there's more abundance for us because we're not just giving it to the animals. Like we can have a snack when we want it because we've stored that food away. So that could easily go into those bins and then under your bed if that's something you're looking at starting from scratch.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go through some fast stuff here real quick. Not real quick. We're going to go through all your comments. So Autumn asked about the garden beds. Do they have bottoms in or out? No, they're bottomless. So you just put them, it's just the frame. We
put a bottom on ours because we have gophers, or voles, whatever you want to call them. So we have rodents that dig under.
Autumn asked about these garden beds. We're going to have a video. I think it goes live Friday, I think. So she asked about those. So yeah, we did.
Can you love that you know when it's going to go live? Look at you scheduling.
I'm trying.
Grown up.
All right. So let's see. So we have Grandma Sue Happy Homestead from Minnesota.
Glad you're here.
The Gray Marlin Homestead. Y'all were here last week, yes, I thought.
I feel the same. I feel like gardening is joyful. It makes me so happy. And that's why I think I'm so excited about the perennials, because it's like I did the garden work and it's still paying me back later. It's like residual income. It makes me happy. I love it.
Okay, Jack, and this is very very, very nice. Said from New York.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Is that it?
New York State.
Okay, there you go. Thank you so much. Very kind words. I appreciate that. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna go through. Okay, so Edgar says the first live chat for me on YouTube. So is this like your first ever live stream
I had asked
on
are
YouTube
you
or just
here
us?
for our first,
Gotcha.
like for the first time. So I'm guessing that's what you mean.
Well, yeah.
But glad you're here, Edgar.
I'm glad that we're doing
So
live
great.
streams again. It's fun on YouTube. It's really fun.
Well, because it's kind of, you throw up a video and sometimes you just feel like disconnected. So
I know.
It's way more fun.
Okay, Natalie asked, what software are you using to stream to YouTube and Facebook? Because you are on Facebook, Natalie. This is called StreamYard. See, look, and I can go over here, and I'm going to give StreamYard a little love. Powered by StreamYard.
Not sponsored by.
Not sponsored. We have nothing to do with this. I just now paid them money today. Bought the year subscription to save a little bit because I think this is going to be fun. And it just gets us more excited because I'm a nerd. Okay, going back to the comments. So
I think
StreamYard.
you're just liking having a control panel.
So before we did YouTube, I was a media director at our church. And I ran the switcher. It was like a poor man's Super Bowl. We had like 5 cameras. It was fun. And so this is kind of what I get to play with that a little bit again. Yeah. Okay. So we have Lindsay, Anime Mom, Wanda, Jack again. Okay. Jack says, hopefully we're coming in less fuzzy, Jack. That would be good. Okay. The gray, you said fuzzy again. Okay. Hopefully we're good. Let us know. Okay, so Sandra said, I definitely am getting a quote from United Portable Buildings. Woohoo! Yeah, definitely follow that link and do the 3D shed builder. Okay, Terry, this is the second question we've had 2 weeks in a row about Starlink. I'm interested in Starlink. I need to make sure that we're not going to get fiber here. Supposedly, we're going to be getting fiber, and we'll see. If I find out that that's never going to happen, then I'll probably go ahead and put in the Starlink.
What would you like about Starlink?
That it's faster
than what we have.
It's probably not going to be as good as fiber.
I feel like our internet's been reliable, but it's not like when there's no competition, you just kind of settle for whatever's going on. But even in the city, we actually couldn't get the internet that we wanted because our little area was like no monopoly. So you might deal with that as well wherever you guys are. I know sometimes you might view someone's YouTube channel and you do your own YouTube channel. So I love to get to talk about that kind of stuff here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Woodsfall writes.
Words fall.
I need to just you say all the day.
Bo is dyslexic.
I
and
am
sometimes
dyslexic.
It happens.
That all the time. Words fall writes.
Do you need me to read?
No,
this?
I just think it's fun. Like words fall writes, and then I said words fall
Sure.
writes. Should I start saving money? Yes.
I will be getting one when my parents find a house to live in.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's always a good time to save money. We are frugal, and it's hard to say we're frugal. We are frugal, but not cheap. So we don't want to buy the cheapest thing, but we do live below our means. We spend less than we make so that when we need to buy something like StreamYard that can help us make more money long term, then we had enough cash to be able, instead of doing the month-to-month payment, I was able to buy the yearly subscription to save money over time, and you just start snowballing it a little bit.
I think the answer to this is like yes, but again,
let us know more details in that question.
We are not we are not the Dave Ramsey aficionados. We have taught some courses. I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. But I will say this. I think a lot of people are like, I should save money, but I think we really have to look at our relationship with money. Because if what you do is like, hey, I get money, but like it burns a hole in my pocket. So then kind of look at your life and like, why does this burn a hole in your pocket? What do you normally spend money on? Is it things that really line up with your goals in life? And if they're not, then that's where the adjustment is more the relationship to money versus how you spend or save. If you're in debt, I'm not a big fan of saving money when you're in debt, and not everybody would take that. Not everybody would take that route, because if you've got debts that have really low interest, some people are like, well, then I'm just going to save and pay the minimal on this. So I can't really advise you, but I can tell you that having liquid cash versus being in debt to someone is always going to be more of an asset, because you get to decide where that money goes. So if that goes into investing, great. If you've got a business debt that you're leveraging, like, there's just so much more to the story. And so I think saving is a great idea. It's what we teach our kids, it's what we practice. Like, even if you want an iPad and you have cash for it, maybe you save a little bit to decide just how much you want that iPad. Like, that's a real life story for us. So I remember thinking that when we first were together, and Bo's like, I'm going to save for this iPad. I'm like, dude, you could just go buy this yesterday. And we just had totally different relationships with money. And I think that especially in homesteading, you just want to really enjoy that purchase at the end. And so if you are in debt in a lot of places, maybe it doesn't taste as good.
Yeah. Wordsfall also asked, how big can a tiny home be? I don't know if that's I don't know how I don't know. A tiny home can be as big until it's no longer tiny and it's bigger.
There's no regulation
There's not.
size for tiny homes.
Yeah, to me, I view tiny home in terms of like how many square footage per person. So a lot of people, whenever we first were doing this, they were saying, you don't live in a tiny home. That's 800 square foot. I'm like, well, so what is it? So what is that? Let's see. Let's do the math. What we're about to do, well, we had 6, so we'll do it correctly. So that is 133 square feet per person.
I would just like to add that if you are buying free range eggs at the grocery store, it's only required like a minimum of 100 square feet per bird. So,
oh, wow.
So like, that's the like regulation, whatever is there.
They're also much
barely more.
Smaller animals.
I'm just saying that to us it's tiny. And really the goal of that was, how can we create something fun, adventurous for our family? And how can we do that without trading a mortgage in the city for a mortgage in the country? That was our aim. So that's why we went with a smaller home. I think sheds are brilliant. I think if you can get a shed to house with UPB, awesome. But if you're outside of that, like if you can't get what we got and have it shipped to you, then find something that works for you. I know people who live in yurts and love them. I know people who live in their RVs and absolutely love it. So I don't think you need a big home, but just, again, match it up with your goals. Does it line up with where you're headed?
Yeah. Okay. So let's see, where were we? Okay. Ruth asked, it's your first live stream here too. Are y'all in a drought? Kind of.
Yeah.
It's not great. You know, the whole saying of April showers bring May flowers. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
We need some rain. So we
do. But I will say, just today, doing those new garden beds that we showed you, we used the rainwater from one of our tanks, our slimline tanks. So this is not the big mamma jammas, but the skinnier tank that catches rainwater off of our roof. And that is a very cool thing when you can do it and get, not a shingled roof, but when you can get, I guess ours is galvanized steel. What's our roof called?
Yeah.
Yeah. We can get a clean catch up of our roof and put it directly into our garden. And we were able to do that today. But if we don't have more rain in this spring season, we will not even make it through a month of our summer in watering our plants because it's so warm. We've already had 90-degree weather and it's the middle of April.
I really want to show you this question. I'm not teasing this person.
I find that hard to believe. Oh, Colonel Quail. We have 3 toilets. Bo told me he wanted to give me the life of my dreams, and so he installed a second toilet in our house. And then we built a studio, and there are 3 toilets, and we have 4 showers.
Yep.
It's a little fancy.
A little fancy bougie, but the shed helps, and we also have an outdoor shower.
But yes, I mean,
we knew that whenever,
I don't mean to brag, but
I don't know if it was the first. I don't think we ever really designed one of these shed to houses without 2 toilets. We probably briefly discussed maybe can we get by with just 1 bathroom, and then we immediately said nope.
Immediately no. See what I needed to see.
No, because maybe I don't know. Maybe we more thought of it whenever we only had the 3 kids before Finley. Then once you were pregnant, we're like, there's no way.
I don't think I really ever did, because especially when your kids are young, like your whole life revolves around when somebody's gonna get sick.
Yeah,
and that was not a vision I ever thought. This sounds great. Just 1 toilet.
Okay.
Pickland moved from Kentucky to Seattle. We in doubt if we buy raw. Oh, you're not sure if you want to buy raw land or a house that needs a lot of work. Okay, like I keep going back to this, but I think it's really foundational. It's something that we've been talking about as we build the course for Get Off Your Tail and Homestead. And the idea is this, like, it does not matter. Like, everybody wants a formula. Oh, look at you. You're fancy. Everybody wants a formula. And I mean to say this in the most loving way possible. Like with our cow right now. I read all the books. I watched YouTube videos. I asked my friends with cows what to expect and be prepared for this cow to come with this calf, right? It did not matter until I had my hands on this cow. And even in regards to that, I had a lot of advice from people saying, oh, well, you should get a cow that is bred, or you should not get a calf with this cow, or you should get a bull calf with this cow. Those were other people's goals. And so the formula for their goals didn't work for us when it came to the cow. The formula for your homestead is going to be unique to yours. And so it would be an easy way for me to just say, oh, well, I can't answer that for you. But I would invite you to these questions to really define your goal. What do you want most about living on the homestead? Is it family time together? Is it that you want to grow your own food? Is it that you want to get started creating something on your land? If that's the case, any of those shake out to be a yes, then you need to ask, okay, what gets me there faster? And what am I willing to sacrifice? Do these questions make sense? So if my goal is family time together, then we could do anything, right? Like we could live on raw land. We're going to be together. We just need to make sure we have the finances so that we can work together. So we both work from home. This is a question I've gotten a lot lately. Like, how do you work? We both just work from home. We run YouTube. We have a doTERRA business with essential oils, and we've started doing affiliate marketing. So we've been able to use those first 2 gigs to get to a place where we can do some additional income through affiliate marketing.
We love multiple income streams.
I do because it's a lot of flexibility. And in the last 2 years, that was something that mattered a lot to us was we realized we didn't have to be afraid even of this very large income that was, a 9 to 5 every day, really stable, when a lot of our friends who had that type of job were not able to work during that time. And I know that's a hardship emotionally and physically. So ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice now so that you can get those goals in order? And if it is, I want to grow food fast. One of the things we really wanted to do was we wanted to find land and steward it well. So raw land was great for us. And if it is, I want to grow food fast.
Sorry, I wanted to check and make sure. You keep going.
That's not helping.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
And then I did not want to be building a house while I lived in an RV because I really did not want to exchange a mortgage for a payment, right? So we lived in our shed to house. We built it out while we lived in it. And then as the house was more complete, we were able to kind of expand beyond the front door into our kind of zone 1 area where we had our garden growing, where we were able to now 4 years later have the cow and the pigs that we've raised and processed and the chickens that we've raised and processed, several different animals. But the idea of building from scratch on our own, like DIYing everything, meant that it would take us longer. So our goals did not line up with that idea. However, so many friends, after YouTubing for this long, we've met so many people who are rocking a DIY and came up with all these great ways to also monetize that through their YouTube or their social media. So if an additional income stream sounds good to you and you have some of those skills already and you love the idea of a DIY, then a house with a lot of work needed would not be intimidating. Like maybe you have some skills that already you can put to work on a DIY, and maybe you've already been flippers or anything like that where you feel like totally confident. There is no formula to making your homestead work as long as you're cool with failing. Like get comfortable with sucking at things that you do for the first time. Like being really bad at something that you start, but knowing, especially being on the same page, that you can get where you want to go when you're doing it together and you're supportive with the same goal. So much annoying communication together so that you don't lose sight of where you guys are going and you gut check one another along the way.
So something that we talk about in the Get Off Your Tail and Homestead book is assess, plan, and then execute.
Yeah.
And you got to assess where you are in your situation because everybody's different. So you just have to put that down on paper. All the skills you have, all the money you have, just everything you have. If you have an 18-year-old, if you have a 16 and 17-year-old boys, like that's an asset right there.
Girls too.
Girls, I'm sorry. Girls,
you fool.
I'm sorry. That's probably the stupidest thing.
Especially because the people helping me plant today were your girls.
I'm sorry. If you have teenagers, yes, I wanted to. If you have older teenagers, they are an asset. That's one of the reasons why we aren't afraid of having a lot of kids is because they're kind of like I don't know. You can use it. There's so many assets that you have. If you just have a skill of anything, you assess that, then you make a plan, and then you execute. That's the main thing that I would say.
And what are you good at? What do you love to do?
Well, that's your assets.
And then do more of those things.
And play it. What Kelly was saying is fail now.
Yeah.
Don't think, okay, I will learn. That's something that is hard. Is you want to like do all the research now. So, but if you live in an apartment, I don't know if there's any apartments that don't have a balcony. Now you might only have like a northern facing balcony. See what you can do on there. See if you can grow some sprouts or something.
Like there are lights.
I know. And then see if you can change your. I mean, if you need to, if you're moving from apartment to apartment, then ask for a south facing balcony that you can grow stuff on the balcony. So there's
go to the farmer's market. Start cooking your own food. Fix
sourdough bread.
Fix some small little things, and it's no homestead looks the same. Like our homestead is going to look super different from, oh gosh, I wish I could remember the name right now. But there's a farm that I follow on Instagram. She's a single Black woman who grows like medicinal herbs and teas. Like that is her jam. And it's something that's so not just passionate, but like she's good at. She loves it. And I love to follow her because of that. So you don't have to look like our homestead. It should look like yours. And if you've never done those kinds of exercises and just asked, what am I good at? What do I love? Now's a good time to do that because homesteading will suck you dry.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do Wesley says recommendations. This is a big one. What recommendations for someone that already has a shed that wants to convert it into a house? We have 3 sons in the military. Youngest son is does carpentry, masonry in Tangent. I don't know. He wants to He wants to
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know where he lives, so if I don't know. He wants to convert a shed into a house. We currently have one on our property with electric. Okay, so you're saying, I guess you're. It would save him a ton of money. Petra Hill Farm. Uh, my first thought is, so if you already have your land and you already have some sort of portable building shed on your property, um, you can, I don't know, it's up to you of whether or not you would want to find out if you do it legally. If you're just doing it as like a separate, like considered like a mother-in-law suite, I would assume, like, you could have one of these buildings on as shed, and you have your main house and you're paying all your taxes, and this could just be a storage building that sometimes you camp in. I mean, now if you're wanting to attach it to your septic, I don't know. So that's up to you.
I think it starts with that. I don't recommend anyone do a shed to house when it's illegal in their area. Like, if it's going to be considered a living dwelling, the last thing you want to do, in my opinion, and this is just an opinion, because some of y'all walk on the edge, but I have an opinion that I would not want to build one and then someone find out about it and me have to relocate it.
But if it's not a main dwelling,
I don't know, but
I know
some people have, like, some areas you live in have restrictions, and so my suggestion is first find out the restrictions without calling it a shed to house conversion. Call it a cabin. Find out, what's the smallest square footage of a building for living, like a living dwelling,
and just say say, hey, if you want to call your county and say, like, hey, we're wanting to start an Airbnb.
Yeah.
And maybe there's different laws in terms of that. Yeah. But that would be the first thing, is find out if you can do it legally. Mm-hmm. You don't want to invest so much money into something and they say, hey, you have to remove it. Okay. So Words Fall says that your name is Autumn. So hi, Autumn.
Great.
Nice to meet you. Okay. So you have a bathroom. We already talked about that. Kentucky Prepper says, save 10%, donate 10%, live on 80%. Love it. That sounds great.
I love that.
Pinkland says,
maybe a formula that does work.
Yeah. Pinkland says, cash is king. Yeah. Absolutely, especially if things go crazy, which maybe they will in the next year or so.
When the paid off home mortgage is the new.
Dave Ramsey says, when the paid off home mortgage is the new BMW. Dub is the
same Mercedes-Benz, something like
it's
that?
No, it's
a Buick. Something
it's
an old man would
it's
say.
the next BMW that.
Anyways, he compares a paid off home mortgage to.
Put it down in the chat. What is that? What is that Dave Ramsey
one-liner? Like a car.
Yeah. No, the status symbol of choice, something like that.
Oh, maybe that's it.
Okay, Love Note said that you converted a shed into a tiny house years ago.
Way to go!
I love
cool how many people we've met.
I love that there is some chatter in Kentucky about trying to find community. That makes me very happy of trying to talk to each other. So way to go. Okay, Lynn says we are trying to learn as much as we can from y'all. Awesome, thank you. We are still in the suburbs trying to get a plan to make it happen.
Great.
Lynn, yep.
It's a good place to be.
Yes. We have, if you just go to, I'll put it in here, get off your tail.com. Put getoffyourtail.com. There's a free ebook in there. Only because I couldn't figure out how to do it in the system that we have. You don't have to, you just put $0 in there and it's a free ebook. So that's Homestead Moneymakers that can help you get started a little bit, and then the full book will help you kind of get that game plan. We're talking about the book to making the course out of it, and it is we were discussing, this is not how to start a podcast in 30 days or less. No, you're not going to, not for everybody. Yeah. Are you going to definitely go from an apartment to 5+ acres in 30 days? Some people might, but what we can definitely do is we're going to be able to help you come up with that plan. Mm-hmm. And if you stick to that plan, you can do it. Lord willing, like absolutely. Okay. Wow. GB says it's snowing.
Yeah, I was
That's
thinking when
awesome.
you said April showers that I'd seen some people who recently got snow, and I was like, April snow showers sometimes even.
Autumn also says whenever her nephew sees a shed, he calls it a tiny home. That's awesome.
There you go. That's anybody in your life that'll call it a tiny home. That's your criteria. So,
Yeah.
and we're like 2 minutes.
Oh, okay, yeah. So this went fast, you guys. Tonight went fast. I was like 3 minutes
Really
late.
great question.
Yes. Okay. So GB said, we need to get out of the city. Our neighbors are insane. Our state is horrible. Oh, I'm sorry. Need to save money. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Absolutely. Email us. Keep asking questions here. We'll try to do our best to be able to help. Farm Alarm. Woohoo! Hey, you guys. You are so awesome. Family time together equals a better together life. Yes. I love that. Thank y'all for watching. That's so cool. Broke Parenting says, where should you start if you want to do basically everything?
I have this one.
Okay.
Okay.
You gotta go fast.
Yeah, I would start with a priority list. So what are your non-negotiable things? Like, do you need a space for you and a kid, right? That's a non-negotiable. So then figure out, where do you need to live so that you can still get to work? Because you're going to need to work for a time. Do you need to work extra right now to save up more money? Because maybe you've got like either debt like we had, or you might have some financial goals that just need an extra shovel to dig into it. But start with your priorities. Write them down. Get very clear. Tell someone about it. Don't tell a loser about it. I know that sounds really harsh.
If you speak it out, yes.
But I know that sounds really harsh, but there are going to be people in your life who don't get what you want to do. And so if you're telling those people what you want to do and all you're hearing back is, that's stupid, you can never do this, everybody is in debt, you can never get out of debt, what's the point? That's not the voice you want to listen to. Not that we're the voice you need to listen to. We don't know you. You don't know us. But surround yourself with people, either podcasts or people in real life that you can get who are going to speak truth in love, but also just help you hear a voice that is not the cycle you're living in. When we lived in the city, no one was doing what we wanted to do. So we started listening to Justin Rhodes on, we said this last week, Periscope.
Yep.
And Dave Ramsey had already been a voice in our heads to get out of debt, which we'd done a few years before. So there was a lot that we had to do to surround ourselves with people who were doing what we wanted to do, and not the people, we still love them. We still have tons of people in our circle, but I will tell you that parents, family members have looked at where we are now 4 years later, and they're not as afraid of what we're doing as they were 2 years before we ever made the move.
Well, yeah, whenever you tell someone, it may or may not be your parents.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Neither of our parents were proud. Neither of our parents were
on board
with what we wanted to do. And now both of our parents love coming here.
Yeah. Show us some videos of the pigs.
Yeah.
Show us the kids. Like, they're always sending, and they want to be invested and invited into this life. So the door is open. I'm not suggesting you cut off people. I'm just saying, when you want what you don't have right now, write it down, set your priorities, tell someone about it who can be trusted, and surround yourself with voices who are going to speak into you or even encourage you just from a far distance to do the things that you really feel called to do, especially if you don't see anyone around you doing it.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna.
One last.
I'm gonna try to finish as many as we can. So we're just gonna go fast. So Lynn, before I say this, we're not gonna be here next week, but we're gonna be here the week after that, and the plan is to do every first and third Monday of the month. So we're gonna do 2 live streams, YouTube and Facebook, every month. So if you don't have a question, you can do this. You can also email us, bettertogetherlife@gmail.com. So Lynn says, we're having a hard time trying to find ways to make money outside of the 9 to 5. How do you find a niche to make money? Can you grab that folder, or can you not? You're pregnant. You can't reach. This would be my number one thing. get some sort of spiral notebook that has some sort of like
I keep mine on my phone.
Sure, whatever it is, you have to have some sort of idea.
Dump.
Like, yeah, a way. So Kelly and I say, like, hey, do you have time for a brain dump? And sometimes we don't. So if and she used to work at a church whenever I was just a video producer. So I would write down all my ideas. And then whenever she got home, when we were first married, I would brain dump all of my ideas.
It was so fun.
You just, I know, but you have to get you have to get it out of your head and down into something.
If you're an idea person, or if you're not an idea person and you're married to one and you guys want to do this well together, give that person room. Give that person room.
That's
to
deeper than we got.
Talk.
I know. We'll be able to go over like things like that. But yes, you have to just come up with. There's no bad ideas. So if you're trying to find a niche, write down everything. So yes. Okay. So Natalie says, question: do you know anyone in group or elsewhere that has built a shed? No.
I would just put that question to the group, Natalie. I think you're going to find people really respond well when you just throw that question out, and then see how those 80,000 people in the group reply.
Yes, I will also say, I don't want to lie. I don't want to sugarcoat it. Any state that has higher regulation, it's less. Surprisingly, Florida is not big for shed to houses. So I don't know the specifics of California, but it is one of those states that there's not been a lot because of the regulations in California. I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't want to. Okay, okay. I'm just going over.
We have time. We don't have to.
I know.
I'm saying you don't have to feel like.
I know. So, what is this? Okay. Hello, Bo and Kelly. Hi, everyone. In Wyoming here, and try to live as sustainably as a tiny piece of land. House takes up most of it. Oh, I feel you. We were right there. Okay. If you have any questions, we're wrapping it up, y'all. We have to go make dinner. Well, you already made dinner. We just have to feed these kids, and I have to go bring in the cows. Let's see.
It's always morning, evening chores.
I know.
You guys are awesome chatting back and forth here in the comments.
You keep talking.
I think that helps so much because you feel connected. You feel less crazy, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Do we have a podcast? We do. It's the same as our name. It's called Better Together Life Podcast. And you can find it wherever you love to listen to podcasts. We also have, we'll be more consistent in the season coming up. But we also have our video of our podcasts exclusively on Abundance Plus. So if you guys need a link for that, let us know.
Yes. Okay, I'm seeing lots of awesome chatter. This is so cool.
The Naked Gardeners here. Glad you guys are here today, guys. Children.
How would you tell someone? So life, health, and wellness, the healing force of art.
Woohoo!
How would you tell someone who has no children to get a shed to home?
Why would you tell them that?
I don't know. I don't know what that means. It's
if you
a
can
question.
Ask that, if you're still on life, health, and wellness, and you have a different way to ask that same question, do that below. Yeah.
Okay, so Kentucky Prepper, we often overestimate what we can. Oh yeah, love it.
If you guys are on here, this is a really great question to just.
I'll leave it up for it's. Yeah, I'll leave it up.
Someone asked us that. Eric Rosenthal asked us that very early in our shed to house, and this has been something that's really encouraging when you feel like you are not getting anything done.
Yes. Okay. Lisa says we just got. Oh,
Yay!
you just woohoo! That is awesome. Way to go. We got the little piggies. We love IPPs. We're really
I love the IPP's personality. How are we going to keep the cows from escaping?
Hopefully they're still out there.
Great question. We did check on them today. We're pretty sure we know where they got out. And from what I've learned from like larger ranchers is once your cows know where to get out, they'll usually go back in through that area so you can kind of spy them. And we didn't see ours trying to go anywhere else on our way back after their great escape the other day. But we think we see where they might have gotten out just from that front gate, and we're shoring that up, and we're monitoring them a little more closely.
Okay, so Cattle Brownfield, how to stay motivated in the midst of construction. I would just it's the same thing of like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You just gotta take those wins one section at a time, and then the next thing you look up and it's like pretty much done.
And just know, like, the big perspective is you can fail. Like, you can fail at some stuff, and sometimes you pay stupid tax, which we have done so many times, of just like not thinking a decision through before we did it. But there will be an end to your construction, and as long as you're being wise with some very basic principles like budgeting and shopping for the best price, then I think that encourages you throughout. And even look back at pictures. What do you have, like, before there was a house here? If you're building a shed to house, there was a time where there was no shed there. So revisit those, because Bo is really good about being discouraged when everything is going wrong. He wants to burn it down. It's like, shut it down, Bo, is what we say. That's his mode.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, where we had no floors, our kitchen still wasn't in, and then some kid would get sick, it was like, shut it down, I hate it all, we're gonna have to move back to the city. And those are legit conversations.
I never said that.
He thought about it, and I never once thought about it, because my mind is always like, look how far we've come.
Yeah.
So I think there's a good balance between wanting to get things done and being motivated, and then also knowing that there's still a long way to go.
Natalie, you're saying, if you said, is your group different than this Facebook group? If so, how do I join? No, this is the same group. Yeah, you're in what you're watching is our group that we started years ago, before we even moved in. Okay, life, health, and wellness. I don't understand your question. I'm so sorry. You said, how would you instruct us?
Email if we're not giving you a good answer.
Sure. Yeah. bettertogetherlife@gmail.com. I don't fully understand. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe you're asking how would we tell you to live in a shed to home? I would just say, is this something you want to do?
I know.
But if that's not a good enough answer, maybe go back, and I think I have answered this of what's the first steps? Start writing out your priorities.
Yeah. Okay, so Farmer is probably the last one, you guys. What's our chicken breed? I don't know. It's lots of them.
My favorite is the blue self-coaching, because they're sweet and they love you and they want to see you. Otherwise, I really kind of hate chickens. I don't really like chickens. I appreciate them. I appreciate that they give us eggs. I'm grateful that they fill my freezer, but I am not interested. I'm a big animal homesteader. I like the cows and I like the pigs, but I didn't love rabbits and I don't love chickens.
You loved the rabbits. You did.
No, I love baby rabbits. Everybody loves baby things.
Yeah.
But I did not love.
I know.
I did not love rabbits, and I did not love chickens.
We loved cows and the pigs, and we loved.
But they all do really have a place, and so I guess that's what I mean. Is I can appreciate what they do for us, but it is not my jam.
I like the chickens. The ducks, I'm growing on me because they have eggs. You guys, this was fun. This is a jam-packed one. I love this. So
I sent a message. I said, you need to slow down.
She wrote it here. She's like, stop talking so fast.
Let people know we're glad you're here.
I know.
It's easy though.
We
to
are.
Get busy. And
I just want to get
dinner time, bedtime for a lot of people. So thanks for sharing your time with us, guys. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for chatting with one another. That makes this so much fun for us.
Absolutely.
So if there are questions that you want answered here specifically, go into the Shed to House group. We'll put up a questions post once a week, and we'll gather your questions, and then it'll probably actually be, I don't think it'll be once a week. It'll be twice a month, so that we gather the questions for the next Shed to House Live. So if you're not in that group and you just want to have your questions for sure submitted, you can send them in an email. But if you're in that group, go ahead and post them under the Shed to House posts where we ask for questions for this live. And that way we'll make sure for sure we prioritize those first. And then we would love to see you guys here with your homestead or your, big land living questions or your shed to house questions.
Yes. Alrighty, y'all. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Ooh. Okay, bye.